very grateful to you, and I thank you. Last night, or yesterday or last night, when I was here. Yesterday. I was so moved by your compassion. I also have a great appreciation for where I am. And thankfulness. I also have this tremendous longing to be in that which you reflect to me. Despite my appreciation, there is this overflowing at times of this longing and desire to be that. And you spoke a few minutes ago about being receptive. And I don't know exactly how the question should go or what the question is, but it has to do with that receptivity. And I would love it if you spoke a little bit about that.
Well, you're speaking of it. The longing itself is this great receptivity. I mean, longing for freedom is such a blessing. I mean, how rare that is. How rare. Walk around your neighborhood or just invite all your friends over and see. Your family. Yeah. It's very, very, very rare, this longing. And it really is this great, great grace. No doubt it's your beautiful receptivity to it already. Longing is such a great gift in service to freedom. Maybe nothing serves that intention for freedom as longing does. That sincere, heartful longing. The longing doesn't fall on deaf ears, so to speak. But you say you long to be that. So certainly that would suggest to my ears that you're not that already now.
To be in that.
In it,
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
But what does it mean to you? I want to understand to be in it.
Okay. Say when I'm meditating or where I'm remembering, there is this spaciousness. And I don't know how it all goes, but those are the seeds of what I'm talking about. And to manifest this body mind in that, from that source, and do what I'm supposed to be doing, whatever it is I'm called to do.
Yeah, you're doing that. That's happening already. you see, my sense is that you have an idea that there's somebody in there, this personal one, who's in charge of it all. And you would like that one to be having a certain kind of experience all of the time. And that's what you're referring to as being in that. And what I'm saying is that you are already always pure consciousness, and that when you imagine yourself to be, that could be having some prolonged experience, possibly, hopefully, doesn't exist, and is not running the show at all. That there is a fundamental misunderstanding that that there is some state that will always be in place once something happens. It's like at that point, I will live happily ever after. No longer the arising of any undesirable or unwanted emotional states or physical states or spiritual states or like this. This is the kind of spiritual fairy tale that has been drummed into us for so very long. And so what happens is that when there's the familiar unwanted states arising, they are seen as evidence for one's impoverished condition. But in truth, that's not the case at all. The truth of the truth is that you're pure consciousness, and things arise as they do. This state, that state, this thought, this feeling, that feeling. And you remain as you are even now. Pure consciousness.
There is a fairy tale that I'm trying to identify so that I can be dissolved.
Okay.
It's like if I am in that state, somehow I will be led, I'll be told everything I need to do. And I don't have to do anything. Something like that.
So if you're told you don't have to do anything and the doing happens, would you believe that?
Well, doing happens, yes.
Yeah. And that you don't have to do anything? In fact, you imagine yourself to be the doer who would like to be told doesn't need to do anything. But in fact, you're pure consciousness not doing anything at all, ever. And the imagined doer is just that, an imagined doer that doesn't in truth exist. That's the truth. Now, of course, I know in ordinary, everyday, uninvestigated daily life, it sure seems like we are the doer, we are the thinker of thoughts, and so forth. Of course it appears this way, and this is this great play.
My fairy tale is even more subtle than that. That's why it's so hard for me to get to it. Because what you just said, I think I deeply understand.
No, I think I deeply understand.
Yes.
Is
wrong.
Not the stuff of deep understanding. If I could be so humble to say that to you. First of all, deep understanding doesn't speak with the flavor of such doubt. So the fairy tale that you have is a very shared fairy tale. This belief in one's separate individual identity as being real and true. The habit of belief in that one is very, 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 very strong. The identification with that one is very, 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 very strong. So that's why I'm always saying, see the illusory nature of that one. That's first things first. So then, in a kind of natural, effortless vigilance, when that one rears its compelling head, one can see simply, directly, wait, that's the one I've been habitually taking myself to be. I know better now, for I've seen for my own self the truth of my eternal nature. You know, I spent many, 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 many hours at the Master's house, sitting in his living room, just watching him. And I tell you, you wanted to see a display of amazing, what we would call unwanted states display. All you had to do is just sit there and watch this amazing panorama of ever-changing manifestations and expressions of every emotional expression you could dream up. I never once heard him complain or wish that this or that wouldn't arise. When fierceness was expressing itself, fierceness was expressing itself. When amazing tenderness was expressing, amazing tenderness was expressing. When a mischievous 8-year-old little boy was manifesting, that was manifesting. When this amazing Buddha speaking the most amazing Dharma was manifesting, that was manifesting. He would complain about food, this or that. See, there's this real spiritual fairy tale that maybe everyone is contributing to perpetuating in a certain way. There's 24 hours a day of love, light, and bliss. And why aren't I experiencing it? God damn it. It would be really useful for that myth of enlightenment that Monica was speaking of be done away with, because it's so, it's just stuff, it's needless suffering. It really is. But it dies hard, that one, because as very little children, the fairy tale is so ingrained. We grow up expecting the fairy tale to be. And then when we start traversing the spiritual territory, we're also still looking for the fairy tale to express itself, to manifest. So, why not let be what is? Why not let arise what arises? Why not let this emotional state that we so dislike, whatever it may be, everyday ordinary anxiety or whatever, just arise and display. And if there's some teaching, some revealed in it, receive the teaching from that. But we seem to be so compelled by the stuff we dislike or don't want. So much time is spent strategizing how to limit or avoid altogether as much as possible this state and that state. When in fact, there's a human part of human beingness. Maybe in Satsang I'm speaking a lot about beingness, but there's the human side of this. That is the stuff of body-minds, where states arise, feelings arise, sensations arise, thoughts arise. Why not possibly transform one's relationship with that which we have been resisting for so very long? Why not cultivate simply a more embracing attitude towards everything? It's also that acceptance that Monica was speaking of. This does require great compassion. It's an interesting predicament in this divine play. There is this natural sense of wanting to be uplifted. And in this desire and longing to be uplifted, there is a recognition that around us is such suffering. Naturally, as compassionate beings, there will be feelings about that. And even a desire to help, a desire to uplift. So, maybe to be less concerned with the personal dilemma and more considerate of the possibilities of uplifting around us. Maybe that's where the fulfillment of the fairy tale now might be found. That we've been blessed with an opportunity to maybe uplift our family members and our neighbors, and for therein in part lies the very satisfaction you were hoping was going to be found in the realization of the fairy tale. It's no longer personal, it's no longer about me. You know what I mean?
Yes, I was pondering about my own particular call in doing that. I have been a psychotherapist, and I stopped doing any kind of work over a year until I needed that time to just not do anything more. And now I'm reassessing just how I bring what you just said about uplifting and inspiring others and ameliorate suffering, and how do I go about that? And I'm not sure yet how this is going to express itself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I am kind of receptive, hopefully, to hearing that call, to hearing what is it, where I need to be and doing what and with whom. I want to hear.
So you listen to your heart. So you already have been blessed with a certain context in which to serve, in the work of a psychotherapist, people will be coming to you feeling some sort of suffering and hoping to be helped. So you don't have to seek out the suffering, they come to you. So, huh?
It's around me.
It's around you. So you have a really kind of easy opportunity to really be used in behalf of the suffering of your fellow human beings. Now, how that will express itself, you say you don't know now. So then you'll see. You'll be courageous and open. You'll be clear what your intention is. And you'll trust in that intention and that heart. So, lucky you. Yeah.